My name is Aurora. I'm 31 and I'm a certified yoga instructor with my own studio in downtown Portland, Oregon. For the past 6 years, I've been teaching people how to find balance, inner peace, and strength they never knew they had. I can read energy, spot tension, and sense when someone's carrying emotional baggage just by watching how they move through poses. I never thought I'd have to use those same skills to catch my husband cheating with my business partner and best friend. David is 34, a successful software engineer at Nike headquarters here in Oregon. We met at Stumptown Coffee in the Pearl District 5 years ago when I was just starting my studio. He was this brilliant, introverted tech guy who was fascinated by my passion for wellness. He supported my dreams, co-signed my studio loan, and even built the booking app I still use today. My business partner, Emma, was also my maid of honor. She's 29, a former dancer from LA who moved to Portland to find herself. You know the type. Honestly, looks like she stepped out of an Alo yoga catalog. Emma joined my studio 2 years ago when I was expanding, and she brought this Instagram perfect energy that my clients absolutely loved. For 4 years, we were the perfect trio. David would drop by my classes after work, Emma would join us for dinner at our favorite spots in Hawthorne, and we'd spend weekends hiking Mount Hood or hitting up yoga festivals in Bend. I used to joke that Emma was like the sister I never had. Until they decided to be way more than siblings behind my back. The first red flag hit me about 3 months ago during our couples yoga class. I teach these sessions for partners who want to deepen their connection. It's actually one of my most popular offerings. David had been coming to these classes for over a year, and we'd always been perfectly in sync. But that particular Tuesday evening, his energy was completely scattered. In yoga, we talk about being present, connecting mind and body. David's body was on the mat, but his mind was somewhere else entirely. During partner poses where we'd normally flow together effortlessly, he seemed awkward, almost guilty. After class, I could sense his entire energy field was off. His sacral chakra, the energy center linked to sexuality and relationships, felt completely blocked. When you've been teaching this long, you develop an intuition for these imbalances. Around the same time, Emma started acting weird. She'd always been punctual, dancers are crazy disciplined, but suddenly she was showing up late to our 6 a.m. classes. Her teaching style became more sensual. She started incorporating poses and breathing techniques that were way more advanced and intimate than our usual flow. The real wake-up call came when I noticed Emma's wardrobe upgrade. Expensive stuff. $200 Lululemon sets, new Alo pieces, the kind of gear that costs more than what we pay our instructors. When I complimented her new outfit, she got defensive as hell. Then I started noticing changes in David. He'd always been a dedicated student, but suddenly he was obsessed with perfecting his practice. He bought a $150 Manduka mat for home, started researching advanced poses on YouTube, and began asking me super technical questions about alignment that seemed oddly specific. The breaking point came during our anniversary dinner at Le Pigeon 3 weeks ago. David's iPhone buzzed, and I caught a glimpse of the notification. Calendar alert. Private session, Emma, 8 a.m. My gut immediately screamed bullshit. The next morning, I told David I had an early client and left for the studio at 7:30. Instead of going inside, I parked across the street at the Whole Foods lot and waited. At exactly 8 a.m., I watched my husband and my best friend walk into my yoga studio together. Through our floor-to-ceiling windows, I could see them rolling out mats in our main practice room, the sacred space where I'd built my business from scratch, where I'd helped hundreds of people find healing. What I saw next completely shattered my world. They weren't doing crow pose. They weren't even doing yoga. I sat in my Prius for 10 minutes, watching them through the window. Emma was wearing a sports bra and those $120 Alo leggings, and David was touching her in ways he hadn't touched me in months. They moved together with a chemistry that we'd lost somewhere along the way. But what hurt most wasn't the physical betrayal. It was watching Emma guide David through poses I'd taught her, techniques I'd shared with her, our signature flows that we'd developed together for the studio. She was using my own teachings in my own space to seduce my husband. After they left, I went inside. The studio still smelled like Emma's Tom Ford perfume, the expensive stuff she definitely couldn't afford on an instructor's salary. On the mat where they'd been, I found a hair tie. Not mine, not Emma's usual style. A black scrunchie I'd never seen before. That's when it hit me. This wasn't their first time. Over the next 2 weeks, I did something that went against everything I believed about trust and openness. I installed a hidden camera system in the studio. Told myself it was for insurance purposes, but really, I needed the truth. The footage from the following week revealed everything. They'd been using my studio for months, always during times when I was supposedly teaching private clients at other locations around Portland, always in our main practice room on the mats that my paying students used. Emma even brought her own Spotify playlist, one that included songs I'd shared with her during our deepest conversations about my marriage struggles. But the worst part was the audio. The camera picked up their conversations, and I discovered they'd been talking about me, analyzing my marriage, my insecurities, my body image issues that I'd confided to Emma during our friendship. David was sharing intimate details about our sex life, and Emma was offering advice on how to handle me. They were laughing at me in my own studio, using insights from our friendship and marriage to justify their betrayal. That night, I sat in meditation for 3 hours, trying to find my center. In yoga philosophy, we believe everything happens for a reason, that challenges are opportunities for growth. But this felt like pure destruction. Then, in that quiet space, clarity came. I'm a yoga instructor. I teach people how to find balance when their world falls apart. I guide them through challenging poses that require strength, flexibility, and unwavering focus. I help them breathe through pain and discover their inner power. Time to apply those same principles to my life. The plan came to me like a perfect vinyasa sequence, each movement building on the last, creating a flow that would be both beautiful and devastating. I scheduled a special workshop, Partner Yoga, Deepening Trust and Connection, posted it all over Instagram and Facebook, targeting couples working through relationship challenges. The irony wasn't lost on me. I invited David and Emma to be my demonstration partners, telling them they had such great chemistry from their practice sessions. Emma couldn't say no without raising suspicion, and David was eager to support his wife's business. They agreed immediately. The workshop was scheduled for a Saturday evening with 20 couples attending. I set up the studio with extra mats, dim lighting, and relaxing music. Everything looked perfect for an evening of connection and intimacy. What the attendees didn't know was that I'd prepared a very special sequence. As everyone settled in, I began with my usual opening meditation. The first few poses were standard, basic trust exercises, gentle stretches, breathing in unison. David and Emma looked comfortable, maybe even enjoying the attention as my demo couple. Then I introduced the honesty flow. I started with poses requiring eye contact. In yoga, eye-gazing builds intimacy and connection, but I knew David would struggle to look Emma in the eye with 20 strangers watching. David's discomfort was obvious. Emma kept glancing away. Then I moved into poses requiring complete physical trust, one partner holding the other's full weight. Then came the piece de resistance, the supported secrets pose. I announced this was an advanced technique where partners shared their deepest truths while maintaining physical balance. The room was dead silent except for soft instrumental music. Emma looked panicked. That's when I walked to my laptop and connected it to the studio's projection system. The first video clip filled the wall. security footage of Emma and David kissing in the studio. Gasps echoed through the room. Several people stood up. I announced, my voice steady as mountain pose, that this was my husband, David, and my business partner, Emma. For the past 4 months, they'd been using my studio, this sacred space where we practice healing and growth, to have an affair. Emma bolted for the door, but I wasn't done. I clicked to the next video, audio of their conversations about me. By now, half the class was recording on their phones. The footage of my husband and Emma laughing about my desperation played for everyone to hear. I told Emma her partnership in the studio was terminated immediately. Our contracts included a morality clause, something she'd insisted on, ironically, to protect the studio's reputation. I told David I'd already filed for divorce. Our prenup had some interesting clauses about infidelity. I clicked to one final slide, a photo of the hair tie I'd found next to DNA test results from other evidence I'd collected. Emma's face went from white to green. I began leading the class in a closing meditation, speaking over Emma's continued sobbing and David's stunned silence. As everyone prepared to leave, several women approached me, telling me I was incredibly strong, that this was the most powerful yoga class they'd ever attended. It's been 2 weeks since the Partner Trust Workshop, as it's now known, around Portland. The video went viral on TikTok. #YogaRevenge has over 2 million views. Emma moved back in with her parents in LA and is working at a chain gym for minimum wage. She tried to claim I'd violated her privacy, but the legal contracts we'd signed gave me full rights to monitor my own studio. David's staying at the Nines Hotel downtown while our lawyers sort out the divorce. He's tried to contact me multiple times, claiming he was confused and that Emma seduced him. But in yoga, we learn to recognize when someone's energy is aligned with truth and his isn't. The best part? My studio is busier than ever. Turns out women going through relationship challenges really appreciate a yoga instructor who doesn't just talk about finding inner strength, who actually demonstrates it. I've had to hire 3 new instructors to keep up with demand. The workshop waiting list is 6 months long. Apparently, there are a lot of people who want to learn from someone who can maintain perfect balance even when her world is falling apart. Yesterday, I got a text from David. "I made a mistake. Can we talk?" But here's what I've learned. In yoga, when someone shows you their true alignment, believe them. David and Emma showed me exactly who they are when they thought I wasn't watching. I replied with a simple message. I've found